Hey guys, it's Connor Kakano here, and today we're back, baby. We're so back, and we're gonna be talking about the Cyberpunk Edgerunners anime that just came out by Studio Trigger. So this anime was actually quite good. I'm not perfect personally a fan of Trigger. I've watched some of the bigger shows. Kill la Kill, that was pretty good. Very overrated in my opinion. Was not like that great of a show. Nothing to like write home about, in my opinion. Obviously, I've seen Darling in the Franxx. That was disappointing. It started so good, and I enjoyed it, and then it was like, "Hey, fuck you, you suck, you cock or something," you know. And then I've seen a couple other ones. I saw B&A. It's a pretty good little one. And then I've seen what was that one? When battles become commonplace or whatever that one is. That one was pretty ass. I wasn't a fan of that one personally. But I've also never played the Cyberpunk game, and obviously the Cyberpunk game, a lot of people were disappointed when it came out. I've heard that apparently it's gotten better, but still, nonetheless, because of that, wasn't like the most excited for this anime, but I liked it a lot. Thought the anime was really good. So gonna kind of be talking non-spoilers here at first. Just general themes of it. It's a very gory anime, very like edgy. Like it felt like this was like a 14-year-old fan fiction type thing, which I guess when you get in the cyberpunk sphere, it is already edgy to begin with, and then of course you get Studio Trigger that kind of gives that little extra edge that pushes it even farther. Like there was just random ass nudity all the time. It felt weird and random. I was just kind of like, do they need to be naked right now? But that's just the way it is. They're like, hey, tits. I'm just glad we never saw cock. That would not have been a fan of that. But yeah, I watched the dub. I feel like I should also mention. Dub had a very good voice acting cast. The main, or like one of the primary antagonists, Faraday, was voiced by Giancarlo Esposito, the guy from like Breaking Bad and The Boys that plays a big villain. And then one of the crew members, Falco, was voiced by Matthew Mercer, who, big fan of Matt Mercer. He obviously well known kind of in the internet sphere. He does like the I think it's a Critical Role, does like a bunch of D&D stuff. But what I know him best from, and what I think he did such a great job on, was Jesse McCree. Huge fan of Overwatch for the longest time, and I love Jesse McCree. I guess Cole Cassidy, whatever it is now. But he's one of the main characters in this show, or like one of the crew members. He's a major character, pretty much. Yeah, the voice acting was really well done on the dub. I can't say anything on the Japanese original audio because I didn't watch that. It was 10 episodes. I just finished watching it. Today is September 13th. That's the day that I'm recording this, and that's the day I'll be uploading it, because I'm uploading this as soon as I'm done recording and editing it, because I want to get it out as soon as possible, obviously, to get that extra click attention, because the anime is fresh and new and fancy and fun and great. But yeah, very good anime overall. Didn't think I'd like it, but I did. But now we're going to be kind of moving over a little bit, and we're going to be talking in the spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen it, I do recommend watching it. So I recommend going and watching it, and then coming back and watching the rest of this. Or if you just like someone that doesn't care about spoilers, stick around and I don't know, fuck it, I guess. But yeah, the number one thing that I didn't like about this show was the fact that David, the main character, dies at the end. I don't like when that happens in shows. It feels really disappointing to see everything the character goes through and all the work they do to get it happen, and at the end of it, they die. I don't mind if a character gets injured or like doesn't come out the same. It's okay when they change. To me, it's good when they change. You hope by the end of the story they changed and they learned their lessons and there's something from that. But it was a little disappointing to just see him die, because you watch him on this journey, and at the end of the day, you never get to see the fruits of his labor realized, or at least he doesn't. Obviously, it was very nice and cathartic to be able to see Lucy at the end on the moon. It was good to see it wrap up like that and her be able to achieve her dream. But I think it would have felt a little better if David was there. Obviously, having him beat like that big bad at the end also may have felt a little bit cheap. I think how they wrote it, it kind of would have been hard for me to be happy in the ending either way. So take that as you will. Um, but yeah, just not a fan of that. Same as like when I watched Cowboy Bebop, Spike dying at the end, I was like, oh, that's that's disappointing. I really hoped Spike, after all this work that he's done and gathering all these friends and these people that care about him, he could make it. Um, but yeah, another thing that wasn't a huge fan of was at times it felt like silly, like so edgy. It started to get joking territory, like whenever the guy killed one of the crew members, the guy with the golden hands, that was literally taking a piss into a barrel and then just fucking smacks his head open. That was like, what? That felt like, it just felt really stupid. I'm like, okay, really? You couldn't think of a better way to like kill this guy off than some guy pissing in a barrel, smacking his head open? That just felt like overly edgy, and the gore in this show was like fucking nuts. Like it was Quentin Tarantino. It probably exceeded Quentin Tarantino levels of gore. Like I'm talking, someone got their head blown off, fucking everywhere. Like just a fucking like end of fucking what are they called? The Kingsman. That one when all the heads were exploding. That it was like that basically every time someone died. Just a fucking party popper of blood going on. I'm saying fucking a lot. But yeah, it was like a party popper going off every time one of these guys died. It was ridiculous. It was very graphic, and at times, although I will say the graphicness of the death did help whenever David was suffering from his PTSD from killing that like innocent mom that reminded him of his mom. That the graphicness did add to that, and to kind of immediately segue into that. That was honestly one of the most impressive parts of the show to me, was that David kind of realized like, oh, I've gotten so far in, I've killed so many people, I've stopped, like, it doesn't jade me anymore. I'm so jaded that I can just kill someone and feel no remorse. And him kind of killing someone that reminds him of his mom that sent him on this whole journey to begin with, did feel very cathartic as well, because it was like, oh, you've kind of gotten to the very thing you despised in the first place. The very people that caused your mom to die, you've become one of them. So that was honestly kind of a cool moment, and that did make his death more impactful, because it's kind of like he got what he deserves, because he got lost in the pursuit of fame and glory and all that kind of stuff. So I can fully see why they chose to have David die at the end. It's just not for me. I'm not a big fan of those kind of endings, but it makes sense why he died, and tonally it was probably the best option. So when I say it's a bad thing, I say it's just something because I don't like it a ton. But yeah, another note, the character designs, liked them quite a bit. Faraday, the triple I thing was fucking drippy. That, like, if I was Cyberpunk, I'd be rocking the triple I. That was just so cool to me. All the characters in general, I really liked Lucy's character design. I thought she was really well done. Like that like one ponytail being really long and the other one being short. David's was so in my opinion, which kind of sucks because obviously he's the main character. He felt less individual, like he just was a guy. But no, very very good character designs overall. A lot, like everyone besides David pretty much felt like a really unique character, and you could tell a lot about their character just from how they were designed. And that's something that's really impressive to do, honestly, to kind of be able to just look at someone and get an idea of their personality just from their design. Very well done. So, and it was also very bright character designs, which were nice, because at many times the night, like the city was very dark and dreary, so it had that like pop to them. It really brought them out. You were like, okay, yeah, here they are. But yeah, overall, really good anime. If you haven't seen it, I recommend watching it. Of course, if you're in the spoiler part, I'm already hoping that you watched it, or you might have just spoiled the whole fucking thing and not given a shit. And at that point, fair enough. I don't blame you. Sometimes I do it too. I don't know why. Sometimes I just go on my anime list and look at the fucking page and literally says show spoiler while I'm on episode 1. I'm like, yeah, I'll read it. And find out the character dies at the end, and that's always neat. But either way, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.